How y'all doing out there? Thank y'all for watching the G Rich Show. I'm your host, the one and only Granville Richards, and today we got the one and only. One and only. This man can sing, dance, do comedy. He do it all, bruh. Skits, pocket, the whole nine. We got to give it up for the one and only Travis Lincoln. And y'all might call him T-Link or Travis Lincoln, whichever one, man.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Bro, I appreciate you for coming through, man. You be from city to city, so just for you to take your time to come here and bless my podcast, bro, I'm happy about that, bro. I appreciate that.
I'm honored that you'd have me, bro.
Heck yeah. So, bro, the first question I ask every guest on my show, I ask them, what city you from, what side of town you from, and what high school you graduated from.
Okay, so I'm originally from Summerville, South Carolina, which is about a few minutes outside of Charleston. Graduated from Summerville High, but I probably lived mostly in the Charleston area, North Charleston area, for most of my life. But yeah, man, that's where I'm from.
From Charleston, bro. Me and my old lady love going back and forth to Charleston on little vacation trip. Where the good food at? Cause we go to this little restaurant that's at Poly Beach every time. I'm like, it gotta be like I'm looking for the hood spot with the good grits and shrimp.
You're in the wrong area. Well, yeah, you way out in the wrong area.
Where I'm supposed to go, bro?
Yeah, it's so many different places in Charleston. I mean, you got Hannibal's, which is just authentic soul food for the most part. Then you got Bertha's, which is probably the best soul food, one of the best soul food places in the South. Then you got Nana's Seafood.
Man, I'm glad you dropped. Hey, next time we going to one of those spots because I get tired of going to that same spot. I'm like, where the black, bruh?
Yeah,
where the black people at?
Yeah. Downtown, because it's gentrified. So you gotta find out where. Because a lot of times, white owners might take over those establishments and kind of make it their own. But there's still a lot of black-owned restaurants in the area. But like Hannibal's and like I said, Nana's Soul Food.
Yeah, we go to. It's called Rita's.
Rita's, okay.
Yeah.
Rita's is right there. It's not
on the beach.
Yeah, right before you get to Rita's not bad though.
Yeah,
Rita's pretty good. But yeah, it's so many, man. Like and that's just the upper north, or not the north area, but that's actually the Charleston Peninsula. Once you get down to the North Charleston area, then anybody that run a club probably got somebody in the back slamming.
I'm trying to get me some good shrimp and grits. I know it's down there.
Yeah, it is.
Because y'all got authentic seafood.
But see, that's the other part. So a lot of times, man, if you want some shrimp and grits, if you want to go to the downtown area, it's so expensive.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so, some place like Nana's Soul Food, one of those little smaller spots where it's, just authentic and just black owned, that's where you need to hit.
Okay, for sure. Now, let me ask you, bro, how did you get into doing comedy? Do you remember your first time ever getting on stage, bro?
Yeah, so comedy was I did it as a bucket list thing, man. I was turning 45 years old, and I decided I wanted to do some stuff I hadn't done before. And so I went out and I did karaoke. I had never, even though I sang, I never had done karaoke. So I went out and did karaoke for the first time that week, and I was like, well, I'm gonna hit the, I'm gonna try some comedy. Let's just see what happens. I was already on a Wild 'N Out group, an improv group. And everybody else was comedians on there, and they were doing comedy. And I was like, man, I always wanted to do this. Let me just...
You caught the bug.
Yeah, because I had, probably 10 years prior to that, they had an open mic in Charleston. They had a little comedy club for a short period of time. And I went out to the club. I put my name on the list, and I punked out.
No,
yeah,
bruh.
So that was 10 years prior to that. So I was in my 30s at that time, and I punked out, which could have changed my life had I started it then. But... punked out. Then I did the, like I said, I did the bucket list thing. I went up there. I didn't really have no jokes. I had some jokes that I wrote on the way there, which was stupid. And then I did some impressions, and the impressions worked. And so I was like, okay, all right, I can do this. I can do that. 5 minutes went by really quickly. I was like, I can do this. So I caught the bug, man.
And ever since then, you've been rocking.
I wouldn't say that.
What you mean? What?
Next time I went up, I bombed. Like, nobody laughed. Somebody laughed at the fact that nobody was laughing. That's how bad.
Damn, bruh.
But after that, it took about 2.5 weeks to kind of understand what I needed to do to at least make people laugh. But yeah, man. I mean, you have your pitfalls, when you first start.
That's comedy, bro.
Yeah,
everybody think you can. If you funny like in a lunchroom, you can just jump right on stage, and it's not the same.
That's not how it works, man. Because I was doing Facebook comedy basically since I got on Facebook. Like as soon as I got on, the first things I was doing was cracking jokes,
bro.
And so
swallowed.
Listen. Anything is joke worthy for me, bro. Nothing is beyond the realm. Sometimes I gotta pipe it down just because of my job. I don't want to be too outlandish, but yeah, man. I try to find funny in everything.
Heck yeah. Now, one thing I do notice about you not only do you do black crowds, but you do white crowds. Yeah. Is there a difference in how you do your jokes when you're doing white crowds or black crowds? Or
definitely.
You can definitely?
Yeah. I mean, I don't change my material that much, but how I present it to the crowd is different.
Okay.
But I try to talk about things that are universal, that are just universally funny. So, and I grew up in a white areas. Like Somerville is like a suburb of Charleston. So that's where a lot of the richer people live from the Charleston area. They work in Charleston. But they live in Somerville because they don't want to be in the hoodish area.
Okay.
So I lived in the poor part of Somerville.
Okay.
So, being in, an environment growing up in school, I was always in white classes. I didn't really see a lot of black people till like lunch or break.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I ain't see niggas till the end of the day. So I got on the bus. But, so you just learn to adapt and I can find things funny in that culture and, of course, being black, you also find things funny in there. So you just present it differently. But I want to do both. I don't want to confine myself to be just like a black comic or an urban comic. I want to be a comedian.
You got to do both because you might have a mixed crowd.
Listen, the money is in both. The money is, you can be an urban legend and not make a lot of money, but what does that do for you financially or whatnot? I want my people to love what I do. So when I do a white crowd, I make sure I make them proud by what I say.
For sure.
But when I do a black crowd, I want to make sure that I'm, doing justice to the jokes that I write. Because I really try to make my set targeted towards things like racism. Like I try to do conscious material mixed in with other things as well. Like
so you're not just trying to make them laugh, you're trying to make them think too.
Yeah, definitely.
That's different. That's what comedian I always say does. It's two of them. Eddie Griffin and DL Hughley, the kings are doing that shit.
DL is one of my favorite comedians. I definitely take a lot of pages from his book. Just because I want people to laugh, but I also want people to think. Like you said, man, I don't want to just be, monolith and just get up there and just do urban crowd and talk about, vaginas and farting all the time. That's it has its place, and I think it's funny. But I also want to make people be like, "Oh shit, damn, I never thought."
Hell yeah.
So that that's kind of how I do it, and I try to just put everything into one show. Try to make it into an actual show if possible. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Now, I seen you just got your first sold out show, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
How that feel, big dog?
It feel pretty good, man. I'm on a show with a bunch of, pretty good comedians. It's actually just three of us. But, the other guy, Paul Snyder, he's a Charlotte native.
I've heard of him. I heard Paul Snyder.
He's a clean comedian, man. He's real funny, man.
Okay.
He's doing some really big things in the comedy game. I think he just finished taping his Dry Bar special, so that's pretty big. And so I'm just happy to be on the show, man. To be honest with you.
Shoot, you think you ever gonna go ahead and do your own special, bro? Because you got a hell of a Facebook following and a hell of an Instagram following, big dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a special at some point. But I want it to be special. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to put it together and just
the Cat Williams. Everybody got specials, but they not special.
Exactly. I don't want Cat to be talking about me.
He said, "I'll bust your stomach.
I'll bust it in the stomach." Shannon, as I stand here today, I'll bust that in his stomach.
He had Shannon over there sweating, drinking that goddamn liquor, boy.
Oh my God, I was hollering the whole time. He ain't waste no time,
bruh. I'm talking about 4 minutes in the interview, he going in.
Done. 5 minutes and 31 seconds. He's already throwing daggers.
Bruh, I seen something you posted on Facebook saying like, basically warning some comedians like y'all should tread softly on some of the shit y'all
Yeah.
saying because you're gonna end up having to work with some of these people and they can
Like-
go back and look at what you said.
Exactly. Like, you know, and I think a lot of times, man, you know, and I still consider myself, I'm an old young comedian.
Okay.
You know, I've only been doing it 4 years. So, you know, when I look back at it, like, I have people that have mentored me that have come up with Ricky or Kevin or had opportunities with both of them. One of my main mentors have, you know, are products of both of Kevin and Ricky Smiley. And I would never want to say anything about any of them when I know that some future opportunities could come from me
And mess you up.
and mess me up. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And of course, Cat Williams is one of my favorite comedians. And even though I don't believe everything he said, I think what he did was open the eyes of people to realize, like, hey, you got to be careful who you talk about. And you got to be careful how you treat people because you never know how that's going to come back and affect you. And I think a lot of what was going on was Cat telling people those people that he mentioned treated him bad in some type of way. And he has a platform and he has followers and he is one of the best to ever do it. And he showed you that regardless of whether you believe what he said or not, it caused damage. So I think he opened the eyes of a lot of people. You know, like I said, I don't believe everything he say, and some of the things are
Like
very,
running the goddamn 4.540. Like, come on,
He
bro.
said 4.3.
That's fine. That's faster than Tyreek
Man,
Hill, bro.
Listen, but all I could do is laugh when I saw him running down that gym, bro. I was like, oh,
It
God.
damn near looked like he could run a 4.3.
No, listen, I'm gonna give him credit where credit due. At 52 to do what he did, that's still
Amazing.
impressive. But you know, that's a 32-yard distance.
For real. For real.
So yeah, you know, I played basketball, so that's not 40 yards, but you know, it's still respectable, you know, in his own right, and you know, you can tell that he actually was probably a really good athlete when he was younger. So I mean, you know, you got to get a lot of people overlook some of the things that he was saying because they were focused on the dirt, you know, the mess and everything. But I think the gems that he dropped were valuable. Like, and I think one of the gems that I just mentioned was just be careful how you treat people because you don't get to dictate how I'm going to respond.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, when I see comments coming up or people that, you know, take a liking to me and they ask me questions, I take that time to talk to them and say, hey, this has been my experience. I can't tell you what to do or what not to do. But at the end of the day, man, you know, you just got to go in it with your full heart. And I just try to take that time. So I don't want nobody to be, you know, coming back at me.
Like,
you know,
I remember that
years
shit you
later.
said
Oh, yeah,
when the
'cause
Cat Williams interview came and you were talking shit.
you never know who's gonna blow up, and I've literally watched some of my some of my peeps blow up overnight. Like, and not to say that their success happened overnight, but
like-
they went from, you know, being good comics to, you know, on a big platform really quick, man. So
That's what I always say. That's why I try to treat like everybody with respect. Like,
Yeah,
even
man.
with podcasting, when I interview rappers, comedians,
Yeah.
because like you don't know once they leave this. I try to make everybody interview grand and the whole, because you don't know once they leave this room, bro. They could get on stage today and goddamn Steve Harvey see you on stage tonight and you out of here, bro.
that's right. That's
So,
right, man. You just
gotta-
never know.
Heck yeah. So let me ask you, what is your Mount Rushmore of comedians? If you had 4 comedians that you would put on your Mount Rushmore, who would they be?
It would be Dave Chappelle. And this is in no particular order. Dave Chappelle, Roy Wood Jr., Bill Burr.
Oh man, he's a killer.
If I only had to say 4, then I'm gonna put Deion Cole up there.
The one thing about I like about you, you and Chris Mon said
Yeah.
Deion Cole. Deion Cole, like, he's so much, bro. He don't raise his voice. He don't get excited. He got the same tone, the whole, and is funny as shit.
Because he does what people don't think to do. Like, a lot of comedians overthink comedy.
Yeah.
Like, he's not afraid to get up there and tell a joke that he knows is stupid. And he'll tell you, like, this is his word. He'll say he'll know it's stupid, and it's so stupid that people are gonna laugh because he's not afraid to do it. And a lot about comedy, man. Comedy is really about fear. So if you are afraid to do a joke, the audience is going to be able to tell, and it's not going to go through like you want it. But if you're fearless with whatever you say and you believe it's funny and you can articulate, then you can get it over to a crowd. And he's one of those people that kind of defies that myth that, hey, I'm going to say something stupid, because I know it's stupid, so I'm just gonna roll with it. Like he got this joke where he says, "How come there ain't no D batteries?"
What? I'm like, huh?
And you just think about it, you're like, damn, you're right. This is a double A, this is,
Triple A's
and C batteries, and you're like, but why ain't there no D batteries? And you're like, damn, that's
it really ain't
is it D or B? It's one of those.
No,
it's
one of them shits. Yeah.
Whichever one that there's not, that's what he
said.
And it's just something that you don't think about that you would normally think is a stupid dad joke, but he does it on stage, and you're like, what the heck?
And it worked.
Yeah,
and it worked.
I don't trust women with good pussy.
Catch them off guard.
Yeah, like stuff like that, man. And that's what I like about him, man. And of course, Dave Chappelle. Oh, you know what I left off? I'm sorry. Ali Sadiq.
Oh man.
He by far right now, him and Dave are right here to me. I mean, I'm wanting to say that Ali might be a little bit more
sitting down in a chair,
a better storyteller than anybody that I've ever seen.
Oh, hands down, bro. You ain't lying about that one. And he do all his jokes sitting down, bro. That's amazing.
Yeah, and this crazy part, like I've been to so many. Anytime he's near, I'm there. Like I just go there just to watch the master at work. But he also like he does sometimes perform. Like he actually will go up and he'll do the gestures and the movements and things to sell his story, but he's so great at telling, you're just mesmerized by looking at him. So I don't know why I left him off the list when he's like really at the top of who I like as a comedian. But yeah, and I try to draw things from each of them. Obviously I got my own style and everything like that, but I try to be a student of the game, man, and just watch as much as I can.
For sure. Now, have you always been? One thing I noticed about, bro, you can sing your ass off, bro.
That's crazy to hear, man. Bro, I think I sing okay.
Bro, nah. I done been to one of your shows before, bro, and you done started singing. I say, this nigga can sing.
Oh,
for
yeah,
real.
that was early on when I met you, man. Yeah. I probably was 2 months in at the most.
Bro, I had my worst experience in comedy. I ain't did comedy since after I did that show, and then like I had a couple shows.
You did good that night, man. You were killing. Like because it was only a few of us that survived.
Yeah.
Because it was a horrible environment for comedy because they were painting and sipping and everybody's back was really turned to you and they got it was a terrible environment. But yeah, it's only a couple of us that actually got out of there with some laughs.
Yeah,
and you were one of the main ones that got some laughs, man.
That shit, I don't, because I feel like comedy ain't something that you can goddamn play with and tip to. If you gonna do it, you gotta do that shit.
Yeah.
So if my heart ain't 100% it, I'm not gonna play with the craft.
Yeah.
That's one thing I never do is play with the craft, because there's some people that's really putting their neck on the line for this comedy shit. So
yeah,
I be thinking that shit be keeping me up at night, son. I still write a joke every once in a while.
Man, that's why you got the bug. But you good, man, for real. And I'm not just saying it just to say it. Like I literally went and found you on. I said, man, what happened to that dude, man? I just remembered the name and I searched to make sure that I could find you, man.
That's how I started doing this right here, bro. I like it, but ain't nothing better. You don't get that instant gratification of making people laugh, bro. It make you feel so good when you leave that stage, bro.
Man, listen, I could tell you this, like maybe 2 or 3 months after, it might not even been that long. Like that was October, maybe November.
Yeah, it just started getting cold.
A couple of weeks after that, I had my first real bomb. And I'm talking about bomb.
Bro, what happened, bro? Tell us about it.
I was going to quit after that night.
I'm glad you didn't, bro.
Yeah, I went back home. I put myself on the show, which was stupid. With some local comedian. Well, not one of the comedians used to live in Charleston. I think he lives in Charlotte now. Sean Jones. He was a comedian. So he, they had a show at a spot in Charleston. I hit up the owner. I knew the owner. Hit up the owner, and I was like, "Hey, man, I did comedy. I do comedy, And I was like, I help you with the promotion. I got a little fan base, and everything, which I do. And so I was like, okay, I do the, I did a video. I did the voiceover for the video, and all of that stuff.
Man,
and I didn't put myself on a flyer, but people knew I was coming. So a lot of the crowd, actually, it wasn't a big crowd, but most of the crowd came to see me. For the first time do comedy. And I don't know what I was thinking, man. I had material that had been working But my stupid behind
wanted to do something new.
I went and tried to do something new, bro. And I got up there. And Sean didn't really know my name. He had some issues with somebody in the crowd, and they went back and forth. And then he was like, "Okay, let me just get this show started," because that situation went on. And so he called me up, and he didn't call me up by my name. He was trying to figure out as he was bringing me up.
Like, damn, you don't know my name, bro?
Yeah, so it wasn't really his fault because we didn't have a conversation or anything. So I ended up going up there cold turkey, man, and I got up there. My first joke was the dumbest joke ever written by a human being.
Oh man,
I can't remember what the joke was.
You ain't gotta remember it. It will never be repeated.
Yeah,
but you know something? You probably could say it and what you got a short.
Yeah, it's good.
You got it. Okay. You probably could, or that same joke, you probably could redo it and make it funny, bro.
Now, probably, yeah, because I didn't know, and I had like maybe 2 shows prior to that. I had a real big show. Maybe a week prior to that, where I was on a big stage. It was 100 and something people, and it was COVID. Yeah, I did great, man. I did 15 straight minutes, man, and that's when I was like, okay, I can do this. If I could do it in front of this type of crowd
for 15 minutes. People don't understand. 15 minutes is a long time when you're on stage talking,
especially when I just started like earlier that year, so it wasn't like I had a whole lot of experience. So. And that was probably my 3rd show, because the first show that I did was local in Columbia. And then the second show I did was When I Saw You.
Okay. Dang, that was your second show?
Yeah, that was my second show.
Man.
But I used the singing at that time to kind of mask me not being able to write jokes. Because I was just doing skits that I was already doing on Facebook.
Okay.
Because I knew they were funny, because people were sharing and stuff. So that's all I really did that night. I did a couple of jokes added in there, but for the most part, those are just things that I had already done that had been proven to make people laugh, which is why I sung. So, but yeah, I bombed so bad that night, bro. I literally was going to quit. I had my girlfriend with me, her sister and brother-in-law drove down from Atlanta to see me.
No, bro.
I had girls I used to talk to in the audience. It was bad, bro. It was really bad, man.
I think every comic got that one story that when they bombed, bro. I went on stage and goddamn didn't say shit. Bruh, went on stage and didn't say shit.
Wow. I had that happen to me before too, but it wasn't at a show. It was at an open mic. But I was trying to impress a comedian in the crowd, and I got up there and I forgot the jokes, and I just stood there.
Bro, I thought it was only me. Goddamn.
That happened, bro.
Shit.
That happened. I was like, I forgot the joke.
Look, I'm on stage and forgot the jokes. The DJ looking at me and shit. I tried to get a DJ the mic. He got there say, he smacked my head, and I was my girl in the crowd, her friends in the crowd from South Carolina and shit. Man, that was a bad experience.
You getting paid?
Yeah, that's what I think happened, bro. I was getting paid. That shit came too quick. It's a short in that bitch.
No, it's just this little area whenever I turn, but it's good now. It's good.
Okay. I was getting paid too early, but bruh, since we on this subject, bruh, who are some of the local comedians that you fuck with? This is a question I ask every comic. Name some of the local comedians that you fuck with, bruh.
Oh man. Which is crazy because, like, even though I live in Columbia, I'm in Charlotte probably way more. Mm-hmm. So most of them will probably be Charlotte and Greenville comedians. So locally here in Charlotte, you got Tyrone Burston.
That's my guy, bro. First comedian I ever. Yeah, that's my guy.
Chris Mons. Chris was cool. Don Garrett. He's been really helpful.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if you know Tara Brown.
Who don't? Come on, bro.
Tara is one of my biggest mentors, biggest supporters.
I seen Tara get somebody tried to do some BS on her. I seen Tara get right on somebody we ain't doing that today.
Yeah, she'll do it in a godly way.
And didn't cuss or nothing, bro.
Not at all. Not at all. Not in her spirit at all. She's one of the most genuine people ever, man. So she's really been helpful in my career, just basically showing me that I could do the clean version of comedy and really every opportunity she gets to try to highlight it, and put me on shows and stuff like that. So I really appreciate her for that. And Don, like, holding it down. Tyrone, I think I may have told him this, but yeah, like what I would do, coming from the Charleston area, I would literally drive. Drive to places where I saw people having shows, and then if it's a mic or something like that, I try to perform in those areas so that I can showcase my talent. And so Tyrone was running that spot over there on Independence or whatnot. Him and Deacon Dean, and Deacon Dean's one of them.
My
too.
guy,
That's
yes
fun as
sir,
hell, bro. And I went to his, show, and jumped on for a competition. He put me up first.
Oh, that's the worst, bro.
But I did great. Unfortunately, I didn't win that night because some white guy performed, and he brought like 30 people.
Oh damn!
So
he pulled one of them on your ass.
but the crowd was torn. Like the crowd was like cheering for me, but he just had a little bit more. They just,
I wouldn't even care. As long as they was laughing, I was like, mission accomplished.
But listen, yeah, they were laughing. I did what I needed to do, and as soon as I was done, another comedian was there. He's local now, but he actually had been doing some stuff. His name was Alex. I can't remember his last name, but he was like, "Yo, man, I got a show in Charleston tomorrow. If you willing to drive down." And then right after that, Tyrone was like, "I got a show here in Charlotte tomorrow. If you want to get on." And actually, that was like the first time I think Christian had ever did an hour.
Who, Christian Johnson?
Yeah, Christian Johnson. So Tyrone put me on that show, and me and my homeboy drove up, man. I did some time on that show or whatnot, and watched Christian blaze, man.
He just blew up out of, man. Like I went and seen him before he blew up. I think it was a little comedy club right there off of Central Avenue. And didn't say, look, one thing, didn't cuss. Nope. Didn't say not one cuss word. I'll even watch some of his stand up now and see if he don't cuss.
Nah, he don't cuss. And this is the thing. A lot of times, man, as black comedians, we pigeonhole ourselves in thinking that there's not a market unless we're actually being vulgar.
Okay.
And I think Def Jam probably hurt us when you look at it in that perspective. But like the ability to make people laugh without cursing is a skill within itself.
That's hard to do.
Yeah,
it's hard to do.
And me converting from just natural comedy to the clean comedy, like I had to learn how to do that. Which most of my stuff wasn't vulgar anyway, so I just took out the curse words. I was like, dang, it was that easy, But you got to believe that you could do it, and that's really what took the most time, trying to believe that I could actually say a joke without having to curse or have the innuendos in there. I don't really talk about sex a whole lot. I don't really talk about drugs or anything like that because that's not me. That's never been me. At the end of the day, I'm older. I started off older than a lot of people, so I got life experiences I could talk about.
But comedy, one thing about comedy, this not rap. It don't have no age limit on. You can start whenever, bro. Ain't no age limit on that shit.
Not at all. People anytime I tell them I've only doing it for 4 years, nobody believes me. Like they never believe me. And it's like, well, how old are you now? I'm 49. Like most people think I'm in my late 30s, early 40s, or what have you, but now I'm 49 years old. So I've lived life, so I get to tell stories about stuff that really happened to me and really happened to my family, friends, or whatnot. And that's funny just because people can relate.
For sure.
And if I'm talking to a younger crowd, I could talk about being a father and what I deal with my 20-year-old and my 16-year-old. So I still got ways to communicate without having to worry about age or whatnot, but and then I still curse in most of my shows, but
not a lot.
But yeah, I'm able to do clean comedy with no problem. I can do a church, and I can do
them churches pay,
bro.
Them churches pay.
That's what I was put on to. Like I remember going to my first church event and getting paid, and I was like, well, I ain't doing these $50 bars no more. Like these $30 bars, like that's what I was thinking. But you want to get on stage as much as possible. So I try to take that in consideration whenever I'm doing something. But yeah, the churches pay, bro.
Yeah, one of my homeboys, they got their own little podcast. They interviewed. I hope I get his name right. It's either Tim Sharp or
Tim Sharp. Sure.
He does a lot of churches, bro, and he was saying like them churches pay, bro.
Listen, churches and corporations. See, that corporate money and that church money is different. Like they you're looking at thousands of dollars.
You can pay some bills with that shit.
Oh yeah. I could do a church event. I can do a church event and literally be good for the month. If you get the right situation, and of course I haven't gotten to cusp of it yet. Like I'm just really.
Oh, it's coming, bro.
You know, but yeah. Well, I got some friends that are pretty successful doing that church circuit, and you know, yeah. I heard one of my friends told me how much he made for 20 minutes, and I just about died. I was like, oh my god.
How much was it?
$20,000.
Man, you lying. At a church?
No, it was at a school, but it was
What?
It was a corporate event for 20 minutes, bro. 20 minutes.
You getting paid $1,000 a minute?
Bruh. That's where the money at. So
that'll make you stop cussing for $20,000.
Man, and that's where the money is. And that's also, you know, a testament to the idea of don't pigeonhole yourself in trying to just do urban crowds. Because at the end of the day, comedy is comedy. If you're funny, you'll be able to relate to everybody. And don't be afraid to jump out in front of a white crowd. And if you black and you've been doing white crowds, don't be afraid to jump out in front of a black crowd. Like, those are your people. You got to figure out how to talk to them. If you ain't never talked to them before, you better learn.
For real.
You know, and vice versa, you know. So I try to be as flexible in each crowd as I can. Like I said, just talk about things that are common to everybody, man.
Like, one thing I noticed, like, most of the comics that, like, get to, like, the TV shows and the talk shows, they not as vulgar. And sometimes the vulgar comics don't even really get that opportunity to do TV shows and all that. So I can definitely understand when you say pigeonhole, pigeonhole yourself.
And a lot of times is how comics move too. Like you really got to be strategic on how you move, how you present yourself, what you wear, who you hang around, what you do in public, how your social media look. All of that stuff is important, man. You are your business. Mm-hmm. So when you see me, I'm gonna be sharp. Like that's the goal. The goal is to always look professional and be professional when you come to a show. You know, always treat people with kindness and respect. You know, treat the audience with kindness and respect. Don't have all kind of craziness on your Instagram or your Facebook and all of that stuff. Like, that stuff makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And people will see it and they'll book you. You know, and if they see your name on flyers and they hear you, like, they're gonna want to book you. But if you are vulgarish and you're doing all kind of craziness, a lot of times that's gonna be a hindrance. And you can be funny, like you can be super duper funny, but at the end of the day, you know, is your brand worth them risking their crowd?
Right.
And so you got to be your own brand, man. You know, you are a walking business, so you got to treat yourself as such.
Okay.
And, you know, and that's just an old guy telling young people.
Y'all
like,
better. He dropping game.
So,
dropping game. Now, I see, like, you go to a lot of cities, bro. What is your favorite city to do comedy in that's not Charlotte or South or Charleston, that area?
That's a good question. I would say New York has been my favorite place to go. I've been twice.
Somebody told me New York got a tough crowd, so you was up there doing it.
I did well because, but this is the thing. Like, New York is multicultural.
Okay.
And like I said, I talk about subject matter that's probably not. I can't say it in the South as much.
Okay.
You know, I do, like I said, I do a lot of race jokes.
Okay.
You know, so when you go to New York, you do those race jokes. It's considered to be smart. And
you do them down south.
Yeah,
get that boy out of here.
You could offend somebody, so you got to really figure out ways to incorporate that differently here than you would in New York. So, and in New York, you can talk about pretty much anything as long as it's not offensive. People gravitate to it, especially if it's a smart, funny joke. So I would say that I've been able to talk about more things in New York using jokes that I don't use here than anywhere. I feel comfortable because I'm with minds that are similar to mine when I'm in New York, because it's just so many variety of comedians. Like, here, I think a lot of times everybody's trying to be the same person and trying to do the same type of stuff, and I don't think that's a knock. It's just more so they see a way to get to some place, and they figure they got to compete against somebody else to get it, so they got to sound similar. And in reality,
being different is the key.
Different is the key, and you know, be different, which is why I kept singing. I'm like, okay, nobody's really doing that, and that's a part of who I am, you know, as a person. So,
bro, every time I see, I be like, man, if they ever do like a movie where they gotta sing like a Temptations type jump, I be like, my dog gonna be on there singing,
man,
bro. I can see you doing like a movie or something like that, big dog.
I'm waiting, man. Yeah, Jamie Foxx is one of my influences too, because he's not just a comedian; he's an entertainer.
I say he's the most. Jamie Foxx, to me, I say this are the most talented entertainer, and he sing, he do comedy, and he can act,
and he does impersonations too. So you know, I
can't beat it.
I try to incorporate all of that in all of my shows, just so when you come to see me, I'm really trying to put on a show. At the end of the day, and I don't really care what other people think. At the end of the day, listen, you're gonna get an impersonation, you're gonna get a little bit singing, and you're gonna get jokes thrown in there.
Sure.
And at the end of the day,
that's your style.
Yeah, that's who I am. So, but yeah, just be different, man. Just go out there and be, the best version of you, versus trying to be like somebody else that you saw that got famous. So.
For sure, bruh. What is your best comedy moment that you can anytime you've done a show or open mic? What is your favorite and best comedy moment?
I did a show last year sometime. It was me and another hometown girl, Randy Sky, who's
shout her out, Randy. Shout him out.
Yeah, Randy Sky. She's super funny, man. So we did a show in Somerville, my hometown, and so when I walked in and I saw everybody from my neighborhoods and people that I grew up with, like, just in there, it was crazy. Like,
it went in there and killed that shit.
Yeah. I mean, it was just amazing to see. Like, I literally had to gather myself before I started saying my first jokes because I was just so overwhelmed with so many people supporting me. So yeah, that was like the best comedy moment I would have. Luckily I didn't cry, but I was about to. But I saw my barber, the lady that used to cut my hair, sitting in the front row, and I used to have a crush on her.
Oh man!
So the first joke was,
I used to.
Yeah. I was like, I would have pulled. So when I was little boy, I didn't care if you had my line all the way back here. Like,
what'd she say when you said?
She was just laughing. She was just laughing.
Now. So. On this show, I like to ask random. I'm not gonna ask you nothing crazy that's gonna mess you up, bro. Because I ask Chris Miles crazy shit. I like to ask random questions on here, and I noticed that on your social media, you said that you went to the movies and seen Color Purple. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about your crush on Fantasia, bro? What's that about, big dog?
Listen, bro. Fantasia, god damn. But I mean, she's just so thick.
Boy.
Like, that's the first thing I saw. Like,
what y'all boys call it down there, bunky?
Man, she got bunky, boy. I mean, I went with my girl, so that was the crazy part. I was just like, listen, boy, Fantasia.
Even she was like, god damn, she
yeah,
got
man,
ass.
like, that didn't make no sense. Like, and I knew, she gained a little weight in that area, and she's, she country. She's from here. So
she's from North Carolina all day.
So, that just resonated throughout the film. And every time she got in the scene, I was like, God damn.
You're only like, hey.
God damn. Like, Whoopi was not that thick, boy.
Nah, bro.
Not at all.
Nah, bro. What do you think about, like, Taraji got on social media, was doing an interview for the rollout of the movie, and she was like, she hasn't been getting paid what she feels like she should be getting paid. What do you think about that whole situation? Do you think she was wrong for that, or was she right for that, bro?
I think she was right. I think, at the end of the day, man, if she doesn't, she's doing it's the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, she's worth, a lot more than a lot of other actors that have gotten more before her. So she was right in saying, listen, I got to fight just to get my worth. And, I think she had mentioned that Tyler Perry was the first person to take her retainer up, because she was only getting like $150,000 per film. And he was the first person to pay her enough so she can start asking for that much. And even that much was not her little worth. I mean, once she's gotten that Oscar nomination, like, she should have already been getting that big money. So
they said she didn't even get paid real good for Benjamin Button though.
It's at 150, bro.
150, and Brad got paid 10, I think.
10 million. Yeah, I mean, and that's how Hollywood is, man. Hollywood is a different monster.
You've been out there too, haven't you?
Yeah, I was in there. I was there in September.
How was the weather and everything out there?
The weather was gorgeous. The city is dirty.
Oh man, I thought it would be clean.
LA is dirty, bro. I mean, like, it just depends on where you are. The actual, sunset and all of that is nice or whatnot. But I would say that was one of the best weeks of my life too, because the camaraderie with all the comedians. They didn't know me from Adam, but you know, when you went to one spot, all the comedians rolled to the next spot together.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. So we was just rolling, bro. Like we went from the Laugh Factory to the Improv. Deion Cole was doing his show at the Improv, and then you know went to another spot, an after party for the Laugh Factory after the Improv. You know, they had their own after party, and then after that, some people went to the Comedy Store. So it was just like
non-stop comedy,
and it was stars, you know, or people who we consider to be stars, like just right there. Like we were just sitting there talking to them.
Might be walking Corey Holcomb right there.
Oh, he was.
Damn.
Yeah. So I didn't see him, but you know, some of the other dudes that I was with.
That's one of my goats, bro.
But
for real.
what's his name that's on this show, the light skinned guy? He was sitting there chilling right with us.
What's his name?
I can't think of his name right now. Somebody else had asked me.
Craig Fats.
Craig was right there. Craig was chilling with us, man, that whole night.
Damn.
So yeah, that was one of the best times ever, man. And then you make relationships with people too. You know, they see you perform, like, you know, they think you got a little bit of juice, like, you know, you build relationships. Yeah, I ended up getting booked after I did a showcase. After my showcase, I ended up getting booked at a little barbershop spot in not Long Beach, but Inglewood. And so yeah, I went to, you know, I went.
Heck yeah.
Did my 7 minutes. It was televised and everything. So yeah.
You can't beat that, bro.
Yeah, it was cool.
With that being said, bro, what do you think since you from South Carolina and North, I mean, I consider you to be you in both, bro,
because and Greenville too.
Yeah,
I be in Greenville a lot too.
What do you think the Carolina comedy scene is missing?
Wow. More clubs, man. Like,
man, you the second person that said that.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, we got the Comedy House in Columbia, but it's kind of a shell of itself. It's not what it used to be, and I think they're really they're wanting to build that back up. Before that was the stalemate. Like, you go to the Comedy House and it's packed every weekend, you know. But now you're not even getting that many people in the door, and it's a 375 seater, so. You know, you got 40 people in there. It makes it look really, really small. And so now the bigger comedians are not coming like they used to. And then you only got one
show in town.
Yeah, you got one show in town there. You got one show in town here in Charlotte. You got one show in town in Greenville. So between those three areas, like, there's only 3 comedy clubs, but it's thousands of comedians. So everybody's fighting to get spots and getting, you know, to the point to where they can perform in front of bigger names. And, you know, so now you got, you know, people jealous, you know, and all of that stuff. And it's crazy because I used to host a lot at the Comedy House. And, yeah, I mean, people were jealous of that, you know, whatnot. And I would turn down opportunities because I could have done it every weekend. But that they called me. But I would say no. You know, here's somebody that might be able to do it.
Trying to put somebody else. Yeah.
And I didn't know the rules. Like, I didn't know, like, a lot of places are territorial as well. So if you're not from that area, then
they feel some type of way.
Yeah. So I was telling people about people in Charlotte or people in Greenville and not thinking that was the issue. And sometimes some of those people were able to get on or whatnot. But yeah, you know, there were people jealous that I was doing it, and it is what it is. But I was trying to give other people opportunities, so I didn't take every gig that they offered, mainly because I didn't want to do that. And of course, they don't pay that much either. So that's the one thing about comedy clubs: you're not going to get a whole lot of money. So you'd be getting possibly $25 a show, when I could be doing another show for $350. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that can pay a bill right there, for real.
Now,
I can't pay no bill with no $25.
Yeah. So if you're opening for somebody that could be worth it, then you do that. But at the end of the day, like, you know, it's still, I don't want to be there every week anyways doing the same stuff. Okay. You know, not unless I have jokes to spare, but you want to give other people opportunities. So I tried my best to do that. Okay.
Now, not only are you a great comedian and you can sing, but I also noticed that you're a great father, bro. I just seen you post a picture with your baby girl, I think that was. Man, tell us about fatherhood, man.
Man, fatherhood is a trip, bro. It's a trip. I mean, I got a 20-year-old son and a 16-year-old daughter. My daughter, I call her a con artist.
Where she be getting that bread up out of
Man, she get it.
you better give it to her.
She definitely get it. But I don't see. She lives in Charleston, so I don't get to see her every day. So of course, you got the dad guilt.
Yeah.
There as well. And then she's super smart and she's a good girl. So it's tough to tell her no.
Yeah. Go ahead and give it to her.
Yeah.
Go ahead and run them pockets, bro.
Yeah, man. And then my son, he doesn't really ask for much. So when he asks, I gotta definitely give it to him and whatnot. So.
I feel like sometimes we don't shine light on good fathers. They try to put so much negativity on black fathers, but everybody I interview is good fathers, bro. So I always try to shine light on that right there, bro. That's one thing.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, especially when you have the long distance relationship. So, you really gotta. We have a little. Family thread that we talk with each other on and everything, and try to make sure that they understand every time I get off the phone with them or anytime I text them, you're gonna get that I love you.
For sure.
Because definitely me growing up, my parents they were nowhere like that. Like my mom was like, "Boy, fuck you," and my dad he didn't say that stuff.
Yeah. So. They used back in the day, Dad, you ain't gonna hear your daddy say that. That was kind of like. Would you think I'm sweet or something? Nah, like, Daddy, I love you.
Yeah, he'll do it now. Well, he's older now, but he later in life he started doing it. But my mom, like, she was not. That wasn't her at all. Like, she was basically the man of the house for the most part.
Now, like I say, I scroll your Insta. I seen one of your posts say the worst thing you can say to a comedian after getting off a stage is nothing. Is that true, bro?
Man, listen, I just witnessed it. That's what brought it to my attention. I went to a show last week, man, and one of the comedians didn't do well, and nobody said nothing to him when he got off the stage. I was like, God dang. So he probably just soaking, bro. Yeah, and I didn't know him, so and he went the opposite direction. But had he walked in my direction, I would have talked to him because I know how that feels. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I bombed that night, I had some dude that was sleeping with a girl that I used to talk to go in the bathroom when I was mad, and he started laughing at me. Boy, I wanted to kill him. Yeah, I was hot, bro. And then when I walked out, this comedian that I had seen him before. He was at a show that I was at before, and I don't know his name, and I wish I could find the dude, but he stopped me. He was like, "Hey, man, there was something there in what you were saying." He was like, "Man, don't give up. Like, I could see it, bro. I could see it." Like, had he not done that, I probably would have quit. I would have probably quit comedy. So I always remember that little, situation where I went from one extreme to coming to somebody that really supported me after I had the worst night of comedy in my life, and those encouraging words, man, kind of just kept me there. And then, of course, after I posted about it, and some of the older comedians was like, good, I'm glad you bombed. Now you know how it feels. Now you're really a comedian and stuff like that. Now I started to understand. But had he not said anything to me that night, I was done probably. So yeah. So when somebody don't say anything to you,
it's the worst feeling. Man,
it's the worst feeling ever. And then so some of the other comedians chimed in too. It was hilarious. Like the things that you don't say to a comedian afterward. And I've been in situations where somebody might have been headlining and I've been featuring, and they're like, "I liked you way better," and the other guy's standing right next to you, and it's like, "Man, what are you doing?
Man, don't do that. You trying to kill him, man."
Man, and it happens, and vice versa. That's happened to me too, And I'm happy for somebody that does well. Like at the end of the day, like you just want a good show. Like it don't matter who's the best or whatever. Like comedy's so subjective. People shouldn't be thinking that way, but. People gonna be people, especially older people. Older people don't care. They're gonna tell you straight.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you ain't all that good. You probably need to do this. Like, so I had somebody tell me, like, you need to sing more.
Bro, you can sing your ass off. You talk about I'm all right. Nah, bro.
Like I know singers. Like I'm a musician, so I know singers. I came up in the church and I know singers and I know so many people that sing way better than me. So I don't even classify myself that way. I can hold a tune. I can do well enough to get done what I need to get done. But at the same token, man, I don't take it for granted because I know it's a talent and it's definitely something I use to kind of build this platform. By singing, little skits and stuff like that. And it's helped me build my fan base, so I don't want to alienate myself.
Hell nah, bro. We like you singing, bro. I seen them views, 14K views from singing. Bro, you be going off on these
Man,
skits,
listen,
bro. Look, bro, you was in there dancing and all that shit.
Man, I was trying to recreate the moment. Like, so I went in the backyard and I saw the hill. I was like, oh man, like I'm thinking Jodeci immediately.
Boy, you crazy.
I'm thinking, I cry for you, so I'm just like in the back with my arms out.
I say, boy, he crazy,
Man,
boy.
Listen, I saw. Yeah, I was doing my KC impersonation at that point, but yeah, man, that one did pretty good. The Cowboy song actually is at 200 plus thousand.
Hey, people get emotional. People get emotional about them. You ain't a Cowboy fan,
Nah, absolutely not. That's why I did the song. I got two. I actually got two of them out, and both of them have done pretty well. Like I know the first one I did was like "Reach Out and Touch a Cowboys fan's hand." They just lost another game. Goddamn. Tyrone tags himself on that one all the time.
San Fran.
Yeah, he's a San Fran fan. But the other one I just did the other day, I was like, well, I think it's time for a new anthem. And I put it out right after the game. I just went and freestyled. Actually, I didn't know what I was going to do. So I freestyled it, playing at the piano. And then I just went and I did a little recording on my phone, did some background vocals, and put it out like 2 minutes later. Bam.
Bro, we going to get the Geechee Dog back, bro.
Man.
Bro, you got to bring the Geechee Dog. I be looking forward to those shits, bro.
So this will be happening, bro. Like, I'll do something. I have an idea, and I'll do it, and it goes really well. Like, I used to do this thing called The World is Ghetto as well. And that went really well. Like, it was popping. Then Facebook or Instagram be like, oh, no. So they like, stop. They'll stop letting me get views on it or whatever.
They're okay.
And so then I'm like, now I'm not encouraged to do it anymore because now they done took the thunder because I had a lot of people watching it, and then all of a sudden now it's not there. So I think I did like 10 or 20 of the World is Ghetto. Then I started doing the Marcus thing. And that caught on, and it went wildfire for a while, and then Facebook, they start tripping, like, because you can get paid from Facebook, like that's like
I be feeling like Facebook wants you to give them some money so you can make some money.
Well, they want you to be squeaky clean. They want you to use all of their apps and all of their tools in order to monetize. And I don't have time to do their stuff is ancient. TikTok has better features.
I be going off on TikTok.
But they be shadow banning me too. Like I should have a big TikTok following. Like every time I go viral on TikTok, they shut my stuff down. They'll take it off.
Shoot, I be saying some crazy shit on TikTok,
yeah, I
bro.
do too.
Like some crazy shit. Bro, I'm like, I know I'm gonna get banned.
Nope. They be banning me all the time. Just for little stuff. I don't know. But, of course, it doesn't help because when I get upset, then I go back in those comments and start talking to them. And I'm like, y'all racist as fuck.
For real. They got one little song on there where I ain't even gonna say it. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it alone. We coming to the end of the interview, and the last question I always ask everybody here: if you had some words of advice or keys to success for a comedian that's coming up and trying to get into the game, what would you tell them?
I'll tell you what somebody told me. First person I asked about comedy was Marvin Hunter. Mm-hmm. I was DJing, and he did a comedy show, bro, and I swear to God, I couldn't even breathe.
Killing him.
He had me laughing so hard. So when I decided to actually take comedy serious, I just reached out to him on Instagram. He was, pretty much a star at this point, to me anyways. And so he didn't have to answer me back, but he did. He was just like, a couple of short words. Get on stage as much as you can. Mm-hmm. And I held true to that, and that's what I did. Any opportunity I got to get on stage, I got on stage. Which made me comfortable on stage. And being in church and being a DJ, all of those things I think really helped me while I was on stage. But the other thing I would tell people is, like I said earlier, like you are your brand. Like you really have to represent yourself like you are a business model. And so you got to sell yourself as well. Like I don't jump in people's inbox and say, hey, let me get a show or anything like that. Anytime that I perform, I try to do my best to either impress somebody that has the opportunity to book me, or I try to put it out there that I'm somebody that you want on your show. For sure. Without having to say it. And it may just be by the way you carry yourself. So you really got to, realize that you are your brain and how you conduct yourself will definitely determine how far you're going to go in any industry, whether it's in comedy, singing, poetry, corporate America, or whatnot. You know, and invest in yourself. Definitely invest in yourself.
Sure.
If you can't bet on yourself, nobody's going to bet on you. And so I definitely put a lot of, time and money into myself and taking opportunities where I don't get paid. But the bigger issue is the payoff that comes later. Like I said, going to LA was one of my, it was expensive to get there.
Man.
But I did everything that I needed to do while I was there. I met new people. I met, new comedians. I made a mark on where I was. The owner of the club that I performed in, was like, anytime you there, just give me a call. I'm going to put you on the show.
For sure. Hell yeah.
So I made the impression that I wanted to make, but I had to bet on myself. So I would just say, man, bet on you. Make sure that you know that you're your own business. Get on stage as much as you can and be good to people, man.
Y'all hear it first, bro. Y'all hear it first. He dropping cold game on you guys. Now, if somebody wanted to book you for a show, like what's your Facebook handle, your Instagram, your TikTok, and your Gmail, so they can.
Okay. So my Facebook handle is you can just look up Travis Lincoln or Travis Lincoln Comedy, or T-Link. I got 3 pages. I got a fan page, which I don't really activate too much. But I got T-Lincoln Comedy, which is my backup page, and then I just got Travis Lincoln is my regular page. And then also on the rest of the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok is at Comedian T-Link. And if you don't want to go there, you can go on my website. It's comediantlink.com.
Hey, man, you the first person I heard that got a website.
Oh, man, you got to have all of it.
Hell yeah, bro.
You got to have all of it. And anything you want to find will be on there. And it has links to all the other social media pages
bookings
as well. So bookings and everything.
For
and it
sure.
has everything that I'm doing, so you can look at my calendar in real time and see where I'm going to be, or if you see that a date is open and you want to hit me up for it, then that's where you can find it.
For sure. Well, bro, I appreciate you coming through here, man, and taking
I appreciate you for having me, bro.
You one of the busiest dudes out here in the Carolinas, so I appreciate you coming here and taking your time to do this interview, man. So, hey, man,
you, bro.
I wish you the most of luck, because it's going to happen, bro. I see it. I can see it, bro, for sure. So, hey, thank y'all for watching the Granville Richards Show. This is the one and only T-Link. Y'all go follow him on his social media, and we out, man.